She started to get really overwhelmed while we were flying.
This just seems wrong. Too fast.
It's okay, go ahead and put your power down.
West, you're crossing midfield at 2500.
Good job. It was time to go back inside and regroup, talk about it on the ground. If you're okay with it, we'll call it for tonight.
Yeah, otherwise I'm just gonna...
You're not gonna understand
keep doing wrong.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
So the plan for today is to start off with the ground. We're gonna be introducing cross-country planning, things like pilotage and dead reckoning, and really start digging into the sectional chart. Hopefully after this ground we can go up and do a lot of soft field takeoff and landing practice, and then after that we'll get into actually flying from point A to point B and all the operations that go into a flight like that. Let's do the short again. Just because of how much crosswind there is, short field is going to be better.
And looks like the winds are kind of coming off the right, but...
Yeah, before I walked out to the plane, it was an exact crosswind at 11 knots, but it's moved a little bit more down the runway. So as we were doing our ground, the plan for the flight kind of shifted when we saw the weather. I had flown earlier today, and it was extremely bumpy out, and the winds on the ground were very gusty. And so we made the decision that a flight staying in the traffic pattern was not going to be very beneficial to her. All right, so we line up for max allowable runway.
Cut that corner, right?
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
That was perfect. And now turn it in.
Turn.
Oh, yeah, this is perfect.
Hey, Clement County.
A little bit off to the right, but you know.
By the time I straighten up.
And enter left downwind.
Alright. I am straight, so holding brakes, full power, above 2065, and we're in the green, and we're ready to roll.
Alright.
Dropping my feet. A little bit of right rudder. Head and nose down a little bit.
Alright, bring it up. Yep. Bring that nose up more.
Clement County, welcome back down.
What is going on?
It's that wind. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to do a whole day of patterns.
Yeah, absolutely not. This is
Alright,
like,
so we're clear obstacles, so we pitch down a little bit.
nosing down.
You
And
can
I
go
can
ahead and
flaps.
go flaps up. Flaps up, nose up.
Louise.
Yep, I'm glad we're not staying in the pattern.
Yes, please. Let's not make me upset. Alright, nose down a little bit. Hey, look, a golf course.
Hey, there it is. There's the one. Lunkin has a golf course right off final on 2-1 left, so coming in on final you go right over the golf course. And what's really fun about their golf course is they have like something called soccer golf, where just off of every single green on all the holes of the golf course, there's a big hole that's big enough to fit a soccer ball.
Okay.
And so you can go play soccer golf, and it's just like regular golf, except you kick a soccer ball instead of hit a golf ball. And there's literally like a hole on every single hole of the course that is for a soccer ball.
Wow.
And it's so much fun. Now, one important thing to note here, you're putting your heading on 009 and not your ground track, because we already accounted for wind. We already did our wind correction
Okay,
angle.
I'll always use my heading bug.
Yes.
Okay.
So we shifted our focus a little bit. Instead of practicing those soft field takeoffs and landings like we were going to, we ended up flying to a different airport and practicing looking outside the airplane and identifying towns and lakes and things that were on the sectional chart, so she could get that practice looking at the chart and then looking outside to identify those points. Alright, what I'm going to do is turn on the autopilot. This is fun. So, autopilot, heading, altitude. Okay, you can let go. Look at that.
That's the nose trim?
It's just, I'm selecting an altitude. So see altitude,
okay.
I'm selecting 3,500. So now it's going to descend down to 3,500, and it's in heading mode. So whatever their heading bug is at, that's what it's going to go towards.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright.
She did really good with finding points outside of the aircraft and being able to relate that to the sectional chart and what she saw on the charts. She started to get a little bit nauseous because of how bumpy it was in the plane, but overall she was able to look at the chart and say, okay, I see a city on here, and then look outside the aircraft and point it out to me and say, okay, there it is.
It's actually like made me nauseous.
So looking down so much and then back up.
Doing this and bobbling around. Alright. So.
Well, okay, so out in front of us there's a town called Waynesville.
That's my next.
Yeah.
That was my next point.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, this I'm not worried about at all, because if you can spot planes so well, I'm sure you'll be able to spot, like...
Inanimate objects?
Yeah, yes.
God. No, this plane's not holding altitude very well.
You try and do it better.
Alright, I feel like that's the airstrip. That's the Red Stewart.
It is. You can actually kind of see the cones lining the runway.
That's exactly what I pulled up
Yep.
first. So we're basically tracking more like this right now.
Yep.
That helps me. And we're kind of following a road.
Which road is that?
42.
Okay, where is
Well,
it
here's
outside?
42.
Okay. Okay, so now just look outside and try and find the airport.
Is it that?
Which direction is runway heading?
I don't know, I was told to look out.
Well, I'm just saying, tell me what you're looking at by saying which direction
oh man, I don't even know what that is. That's like 060-ish, 04-ish.
Okay, yeah, that's the airport. So there we go, we didn't use GPS, we just had a heading. When we saw that we were off to the wrong side of our first checkpoint, we changed our heading a little bit, and it got us directly here. But good job. Well, see, now we know that we can pretty much follow this 42 for a while back home. So let's do that. Hopefully we don't hit a red light. Nothing.
What are red
Okay.
lights? Oh no.
I'm saying because we're following a road.
Yeah, what are red lights?
I try to make a joke and you try to make one back. Just appreciate my joke for once. I have to work on these dad jokes, you know.
Oh man.
So what do you think of that?
It's a lot to take in. I mean, it's not a big deal.
I feel like she enjoyed. It's almost like a game, looking at the sectional and then looking outside to try and find those points. So it was a fun flight, and it really was able to reset us, and that's what's needed.
It was fun. I got super nauseous looking down and up, and then we were on autopilot so that we could focus on actually doing what we needed to do, the lesson. So, but then the autopilot was all over the place too, and you know, we were just getting jocked. And so it wasn't as fun as it could have been.
I mean, hey, that's what you got to do, you know, electrical failure, or you lose GPS reception, or something happens. Hey, just look outside. I mean, for the VFR pilot, that's what it is, but... Now, let's say we're completely lost. We have no idea where we are, but now our GPS is working again. So, the simplest way to get us back to where we want to go, I think there's two really simple ways. One is there's the D with the arrow through it, direct to.
Direct to.
You hit that and you just type in here your identifier, I-69. The other really easy way, take this big knob, turn it all the way to the right, you get to the nearest page. Oops, I messed it up. Okay, you get to the nearest page. Then you click this in to get the cursor, and you can scroll this down till you find...
Because we're clearly not close.
What in the world? There it is, I-69. And then you hit direct to, enter, boom. And there it shows up on the G5. All right.
So just straight in for 2-2?
Yeah, that's fine. We can go straight in.
We actually did like a 5 or 6 mile final straight in, and I had to actually ask the question, well, at this point, where do we do flaps? Because obviously if we're not in the pattern, what happens? Where do you do those?
The runway, we're actually kind of almost lined up for the runway right now. If you turn a little bit more right, it's that light field in the middle of all the green.
So because we're coming in for an extended final, where do we put flaps in?
Great question. About 4 miles, I mean, there's not a specific number. Generally when I'm like 4 miles out, I'll do 10 degrees of flaps, and then 2 miles, 20, and then 30.
4, 2,
And then the 20 and 30 can happen.
Once you stabilize, okay.
Right.
When we actually listened to the weather, we realized how bad it had actually gotten over the field, and there ended up being a 16-knot crosswind.
40 Claremont County Airport. Automated weather observation. 19er, 32 Zulu weather wind 29er 0 at 10 gust 16 visibility 10.
290 gust and 16. So 70 degrees off the runway, 16 knot. That's probably what, like a 13, 14 knot crosswind component. Cockpit County traffic 2386 Victor is 4 miles out, straight in final runway 22 Clement.
All right, so I can go ahead and put 10?
Yep.
So would you like to take controls to do this landing?
Would you like me to?
I don't know.
I think you can try it.
Okay.
I'll be with you on it.
At first I was like, no, and then I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, let me try it. Let me see how this goes.
So maintaining 2,000 or keep going down?
You can keep going down. Because
Okay.
now we can see the glide, the happy lights out there.
Okay. And then I'll go to 20. I'll put 20 to make myself go to 85.
Pull some more power out, because that's going to help us descend. So we are high right now. So you see how the nose is like automatically pointing into the wind?
Right, yeah.
You can just keep it like that. So as you're going down, if we keep getting pushed off, more right aileron to kind of get us back over there too.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and go full flaps, and let's pull some more power out to be able to slow us down too.
What do you want?
Kind of keep the pitch there, and the airspeed will slow itself down now.
Do I look like I'm on
Wow,
track?
this is quite the...
That's what I'm like.
Just because of the wind. Do you want me to
There
take
you
it?
go.
You want to try it?
I'll try it, but just
Okay.
be ready to...
Yeah, I got you.
I got down to the cones and I realized I'm either gonna bounce the crap out of this plane, I'm gonna land really weird and left a center line.
Just guide me through this one, because
Yeah. More power.
do I need
We're
rudder?
getting slow,
There we
so...
go. Oh. Yeah, you're gonna take it.
Okay,
Your
my controls.
So at the cones, which I think is like 50 feet, maybe 100 feet from the start of the runway, I gave the controls to Matt. I didn't
Oh, there's a float.
want to risk that.
It would have been a rough one.
I do understand that I will eventually need to learn in a higher crosswind.
Next flight, I do want to get back to actually doing those soft field takeoffs and landings because we haven't really practiced them at all. So hopefully we get a good weather day, not too much wind, and we'll be able to practice those soft field takeoffs and landings.
Yeah, with that, if you duck below those trees, that first tree line, you can kind of save your wind, but then you've got the gust again, no matter what, when you're hitting that runway. So I'm like,
Yeah, when you get past the trees, it calms down for a second, but then when you're in your round out and you're just floating above the runway, you get hit by it.
Smacked a little, yeah. So I'm like,
oh my goodness, what just happened? This wasn't the goal for this flight, to be honest. I didn't expect it to be this good.